Hi there. Can you guys see the dais now and see us sitting on the dais?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
All right. It is
Recording
Monday,
in
June,
progress.
It's Monday, June 2nd, 2025. I'm going to call this meeting of the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency to order. Could we get a roll call?
Sure. Carrie Rohrmeyer,
Yes.
Dan Lisareski,
Here.
Michael Flick. Believe absent.
I think he's on his way.
Marilyn Kramer,
Here.
Carl Nieberlein,
Here.
Rob Pierce,
Here.
Shelley Reed,
Here.
Alex Velto,
Here.
and David Jackman.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Are there any comments on it? Could I get a motion to approve it?
This is Rob. I make a motion to approve as written.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 4, do we have any public comment?
We have none.
I would like to make public comment.
Okay,
Is that all right? So my name is Rob, for the record, and I would like to personally thank the City of Reno Planning Commission members for their hard work and dedication that they are showing that affect all the residents of Washoe County. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and your hard work and dedication is appreciated by more people than not. You have a hard job, and it appears that not everyone appreciates you for what you do, but you are accomplishing your job in a manner that shows that you are thinking about not only the people of Reno, but others as your decisions affect the residents of Washoe County also. So personally, I would like to thank you for everything that you guys are doing, and you need to know that you are appreciated beyond words. Thank you.
thanks. Any other public comment?
That is all.
All right, item number 5, approval of the minutes from the April 2024 meeting. Does anyone have any amendments to this? Otherwise, could I get a motion to approve?
This is Shelley Reed. I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
This is Rob. I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? We have unanimous agreement. All right, the business of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Today we have item 6A. It's public hearing and regional plan conformance review. We'll have a presentation by Regional Planner Chris Tully.
Good evening, Commissioners. Chris Tully, TMRPA. Make sure this works. Oh, there we go. Cool. This item is a conformance review for the Arlington Office Amendment to the City of Reno Master Plan, and that case number is CR 25-001. As noted, this is an amendment to the City of Reno Master Plan to change the land use on the subject site from single-family neighborhood to suburban mixed use. The Reno City Council adopted the proposal on at their April 23rd, 2025 meeting, and that was unanimous, and that was also based on a unanimous recommendation by the Reno City Planning Commission. Finally, regional planning staff does recommend that the proposed amendment conforms with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. All right, continuing on with the overview, regional form map, or the subject or the neighborhood map is on the right-hand side of the screen. The subject site is located east of South Arlington, approximately 250 feet north of its intersection with West Plum Lane. Subject site is approximately 0.31 acres in size, and it is located in the Tier 1 regional land designation, as you can see again on the neighborhood map on the right-hand side of the screen. Again, the proposal is an amendment to change the land use in the subject site from a single-family neighborhood to suburban mixed use. The proposal also includes a request, as analyzed by the City of Reno, for a rezone of the site from single-family residential, 5 units per acre, to professional office. And here we can see on the left-hand side of the screen the existing land uses. Again, the subject site is single-family neighborhood currently, and proposed to go to suburban mixed use, which you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. And then to go over the review criteria, which is put forth in policy RC9 of the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. The 5 criteria listed in this policy are those that the RPC must consider when evaluating a proposal for conformance. And we'll step through the analysis contained in the staff report. Starting with population growth, the amendment itself would not appreciably change projected housing totals for the region. In regard to regional form, as noted, the subject site is located in the Tier 1 regional land designation. The proposed land use amendment would result in a compatible land use, as properties adjoining or in close proximity to the subject site are currently designated suburban mixed use. The requested change is appropriate from a regional compatibility perspective, as required in policy RF11, compatibility factors. In regards to public facilities and services, the infrastructure to serve the site currently exists, and the impact from the potential development is anticipated to be minimal. Finally, in regard to regional coordination, TMRPA ensures that this subject is at the forefront of our work, and we coordinate with jurisdictional staff and other relevant entities during the conformance review process. Finally, regional planning staff did provide an initial review memorandum for this particular case. So with that, that concludes my presentation. However, TMRPA, City of Reno staff are available for any questions. Thank you. Got the proposed motions on page 8, I believe, of this packet.
Thank you very much. Before we go to the board for questions, do we have any public comment on this item?
Not for this item.
Thank you. Any questions from the board or discussion on this item? Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'm prepared to make a motion. This is Shelley Reed. I move to find the Arlington Office Amendment to the City of Reno Master Plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
This is Rob. I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. All right, we have further business of the day, item 6B.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much, Jeremy Smith, for the record. And item 6B is a public hearing. It's the conformance review of the Envision Washoe 2040 Master Plan versus the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. I'll be taking care of this presentation. So here we go. CR 25-015. Okay, so as you guys know, I think at this point, we've done a few of these already, that when we update the regional plan on the 5-year cycle, really any update, the master plans and the affected entity facilities plans need to be found in conformance. And so when we go through the 5-year process, there's a window of time within which we can do that conformance process. And so we're in the midst of that right now. You may remember we did the RTC plan. We did the regional water management plan. Yeah, so here we are with the 2040 2040 Envision Washoe Plan. And this was just adopted in November of 2023, so fairly recently. We worked with Washoe County staff at that time to get as much of the regional plan stuff in there as possible. So what we're really looking at here is mainly updates that came from the 2024 plan and asking Washoe County to recognize and include those updates. We feel the estimated timeframe in working with Washoe County staff to achieve these scheduled additions that need to be changed in their plan is the fall of 2025, so this year. And in working with staff and reading the plan and thinking about how we're moving here, regional planning staff recommends that this in fact does conform with the regional plan as adopted back in December of 2024. As we just saw, there are these 5 sections of policy in the regional plan, chapter 3. These also constitute the 5 sections of findings that need to be made for a decision of conformance. So we'll start with the population growth. Boom. Great. Okay, so we have no scheduled additions for this particular section because these documents, our Washoe County Consensus Forecast and the Regional Strategy for Housing Affordability, are already recognized in the Envision 2040 plan. That was part of the work we did back in 2023. So there was no change to that in the 2024 update, and so we recommend there's no additions needed for that section. So in the regional form section, we do have some scheduled additions that are on the list here. And these would be the things that we would be targeting to have completed and included in the Washoe County master plan by fall. And then, of course, at that time, we will bring this back to show you that those changes have been effectuated and get that final decision point. The first is to add additional language describing resort service areas. So right now, there's one resort service area, and that's the Mount Rose Ski Resort. It's sort of got a boundary, and it's definitely referenced in the Washoe County Master Plan. However, there is no section describing what a resort service area is. And given that is a mechanism that is employed by the jurisdiction, we're asking Washoe County to add into their plan a short description of the resort service area mechanism, tie it to that Mount Rose resort service area that exists, and reference our policy. So it's a pretty easy inclusion for that. Likewise, we have Regional Plan Policy RF10, which is to identify coordination and compatibility with military installations. That work absolutely is done by Washoe County, but we did not notice any memorialization of that approach in their master plan. And given we have the policy, we ask that it's reflected in the master plan. So we're asking Washoe County to add a line or two describing how they coordinate with military installations in Washoe County. And then finally, compatibility. There's always a compatibility question for any local decision making around zoning or master plan, but we also ask to approach it from the regional lens. And we want to make sure that that kind of higher order compatibility discussion is referenced in the master plan as well. And so we're asking Washoe County staff to recognize RF11, our regional compatibility policy, and they have said that would be great, no problem. So those are all scheduled to be included for fall of 2025. Moving along to the third section, public facilities and services. The public facilities and services element in the Envision Washoe plan is pretty darn robust and is addressing all of the things that our policies are asking for in terms of public facilities and services. So no scheduled additions are identified or warranted for that section. In natural resources, you probably remember, we made some significant changes. One of the things we added was the natural resource consideration areas. That is policy NR4. That's the second bullet up here, I believe. And just asking to include the concept, reference it, all regional cases through our staff effort and through our initial review memo. We'll be utilizing the NRCA toolset to provide that information about interactions of the site with natural resources. There's also an online tool that's available to staff for other cases that we've made available. And what we're looking for is just, again, a recognition and memorialization of the approach and that information is available and how to utilize it. So that looks good. In terms of regional plan policy NR6, in fact, and that's our hillside development policy, that is recognized, to my understanding, in the Washoe County local ordinances in the code, but it is not reflected in the master plan specifically. So there is an approach at Washoe County already occurring to manage development on slopes from 15% to 30%. And we're again just asking to make sure that that is reflected in the master plan as well. We have new regional plan policy NR15. That's the recognition of the integrated source water and watershed protection plan for Washoe County that's online. It's part of the NRCA tool as well. And similar to the housing one we talked about at the beginning of this presentation, it's again asking to recognize that effort and to utilize the tools available when needed and warranted. It's very similar for the next bullet, which is the regional trails policy. So those were efforts that we worked on for years, source water and trails. And during the 2024 update, got those included into the regional plan. And so now we're making sure that that is reflected across all of the local master plans and facilities plans of affected entities. So those would be the natural resources scheduled additions, also slated for fall of this year. Moving on to regional coordination, we've got a couple here. One is the removal of references to the Reno-Stead Corridor Joint Plan. As part of the 2019 plan, actually, we sunset that joint plan. All the players were Reno and Washoe County. They had a joint plan, which is enabled by state law and is reflected in our regional coordination policy section. So it's a mechanism that we can use to ensure that all the planning commissions from the jurisdictions involved and the council and the elected bodies can weigh in on the decision making. It's a pretty official application, and I think it served its purpose. It was a joint plan up in the Reno-Stead area that has basically either been completely developed or, it has been sunset, and those master plan designations have been changed, but there's just a couple references to the plan remaining in the Envision 2040 plan, and we've asked that those are removed. So that's that one. That'll happen in the fall update as well. And then we also have a longer term addition, and this is something we talked with Washoe County staff about back in 2023 when they were doing their Envision 2040 update. And it's kind of a twofold thing. And the reason that it's a longer term addition is because it's going to take a little effort. It's going to take a lot of noticing, but it's really about the master plan designations that Washoe County has, which is the smallest set in the region in terms of jurisdictions. I think there's 8 choices. And there may be some appetite to create sort of a mixed use designation, maybe for some of the areas that have the potential to have density like Sun Valley, and maybe some other tweaking as well. So we're not exactly sure what those new designations could be. It's something that the consultants that help with the Washoe County Master Plan brought up and we talked about, but it was just at the time considered a pretty darn heavy lift, especially considering the noticing requirements to add something like that in. So that's something we're working on that we want to bring and try to improve. And in addition to that, there are just a few areas in the unincorporated Washoe County where the land use designation mapping is a little bit out of sync, maybe you could say, with the parcel configuration. At one point, Washoe County had gone from a 2-map system to a 1-map system, and then went back to a 2-map system. And in some areas, I think things didn't necessarily get addressed to the level that they could have. What it's doing for us is it's creating a potential challenge in that to do small, we're talking 1 unit on large acre parcel sort of densification where somebody has maybe we've seen a couple of these cases here over in the west part of town. We're actually having to look to change the tier status up to tier 2. And what we'd like to do is be able to get the most appropriate Washoe County land use designations set and make sure the mapping is matching where we actually want it to be, so that in the future we can effectuate those small changes without having to go through a tier change process. But the process is working and we can move forward. It's just that we think it's something we can get ahead of. But again, it's kind of a big lift, and I think there's quite a bit of noticing. So we've been working together to sort of pinpoint it. It's going to be a longer term addition, and we'll probably be coming forward sometime next year, probably at the earliest. So we're going to address all those short-term schedule additions that I went through for the fall, and then continue to work on the master plan mapping and designations, suite of designations, collectively going forward. So with that is what we're shooting for. And there's a motion on the screen here to basically find the Envision Washoe 2040 plan in conformance with the Truckee Meadows 2024 regional plan with the scheduled additions. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. And I believe we may have Washoe County staff on the line as well.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comment on this item?
We have none.
All right. Thanks very much for the presentation and for the collaborative work that you guys have been doing with county staff. I know that it's been a good back and forth since both the Washoe 2040 and the regional plan updates have been jumping each other in time and scope. Is there any discussion from the board or any questions? Yeah.
One question. How's these recommendations been received by Washoe County staff? I mean, is it, obviously it's more work for them.
Yes.
But, I mean, have they cooperative, good relationships, that sort of thing?
Absolutely, totally cooperative. And we've talked through each of these additions, and they feel like it's a pretty straightforward approach to get this incorporated in. With the secondary thing, with the longer term one is a tougher lift, but committed to working on it.
So, and basically that's, you have parcels with multiple roads on it.
Well, mainly it seems that when the mapping was done, I'm not exactly sure, but it's a legacy impact where some of the master plan land designations, for instance, suburban residential, which can allow for some higher density, is really matching the topography, which may be appropriate, but it creates a very mismatch with the parcel data and where exactly the suburban residential is and where the parcels are. It's worthy in a few areas of town, not everywhere, but just a couple of areas. I think taking a look at it and making it more straightforward and direct. Cool.
Any further comments or discussion from the board?
I couldn't hear what his questions were, but I got Jeremy's answer. Sorry.
Jeremy Smith, for the record, I can kind of basically it was Commissioner Flick was asking about the collaboration and how Washoe County staff viewed the request from regional, and we're all copacetic and working together, and there's no pushback.
Good enough. Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Rob. Any further discussion? All right. I move to find the Washoe County Master Plan in conformance with the 2024 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on the findings listed in the staff report.
David
This is
Jockman,
Rob,
second.
second it.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Do we have a report from the director or any of the members?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I have a short report, but I would gladly defer to any members if they have a report. I think seeing none, I'll just blast through this for us. So first off, I'd like to welcome Reno Planning Commissioner David Jackman to our commission, who's been officially appointed. So now we're back to full strength, and that's great. So welcome, David. Thank you for being here. Just FYI, we're working on strategic goals for the work program of regional planning for the next year, for the fiscal year, which is starting up July 1. And we'll be taking that to the governing board in June. And so I'd be happy to bring that back to a subsequent meeting and sort of report on what those are. And you guys can also weigh in. I don't think they're set in stone, but we can have a discussion about that if something seems off. But we have several goals, and really it's building on the concept that since 2019, we've had a very, I think, hard set of goals, but simple. We were doing the natural resource plan and the public infrastructure plan, and that was guiding most of our work efforts in addition to our regular regulatory and admin tasks. But now we've got those established, and so we're looking to move forward with a little bit more of an organized approach to the tasks we're taking on as an agency, and in fact, working that to some degree into the evaluation of the director position to ensure that evaluation is not just about sort of regular admin duties, but also how well the agency is meeting its goals. So that's coming as well. We're still working on the memorandum of understanding and the updated policy for school approvals. That is in process. So we'll keep you posted as soon as we have a policy approach there. We're going to make sure we vet that through this body before taking it to the governing board for a final adoption. Likewise, the governing board did direct us to, I think I may have mentioned this last time, but did direct us to move forward on a review of the energy sector role of regional planning and what we do in terms of the state law requirements for projects of regional significance, especially around electrical generation and transmission in Washoe County. And that's really in the face of what we think is coming, as we've discussed, huge demand for data centers and power needs. And so I've been actively working on this already, and we're putting it in there. We're going to continue to take that on. And one of the facets that I'm pretty excited about is a public engagement facet of that, so that we can get out into the community, ask some questions, get some feedback, and make sure we're not bypassing what folks are thinking about from the community, but also talking with Nevada Energy, the PUCN, business interests for data centers out in Story County and the Fernley area. So we're making progress there. This week, we're doing our second interview round for three applicants for the GIS position at the agency. And so we hope to have that decision really soon here and hire somebody on and get back to full strength, which is really exciting. So we'll keep posted on that front. And then finally, the June meeting, we may cancel the June meeting. We have a few things to do, but it's nothing that is time sensitive per se. And we could also bring in July. We're going to be pretty short staffed in June with, we got one person out on paternity leave and a few folks that are going to be out of town. And so we're looking at it. If we need the meeting, we can make it happen. But if we can get around not having it, we're gonna err on that side. So what we can expect in July is a few more of the things that we just went through. We're gonna do the City of Reno, City of Sparks, where there's 2 airport plans we need to look at, and the school district's plan. So those would come in July, would be the idea. With that, that'll conclude it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any report from legal counsel?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing to report.
All right. Anything from the board requesting future agenda items? Hearing none, do we have any public comment closing the meeting or written correspondence?
We have none.
Then we are adjourned.